Hey, I'm Doug. Welcome to Backcountry Pilgrim, a channel all about hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Today I'm going to be looking at 3 different styles of backpack: the traditional, the tactical, and the ultralight. So first, let me introduce the packs that we are going to be talking about in this video. This is the Osprey Talon 22. It's a 22-liter pack in the traditional format. This is a no-name tactical backpack that I got off the internet, and it is a 25-liter pack. And finally, for my ultralight backpack, I have the Waymark Mile. This is a 28-liter pack. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice that is different about these packs is the material that they are made of. The traditional pack and the tactical pack are typically both made of nylon, but they're made of a very different thickness of nylon, also known as the denier, and this has 2 primary effects on the pack. Number 1, it affects durability, because the thicker the nylon, the more durable it's going to be, the more it's going to be able to handle abuse, and the thinner it is, the more lightweight the backpack is going to be. An ultralight pack, on the other hand, is usually made of some kind of space-age material. You know, we went to space like 60 years ago, and that was before any of these bags were made, like X-Pack or Dyneema. And these materials, while still retaining strength, are extremely lightweight. Now, having a pack that is made of a more lightweight material does not always translate into a lighter pack overall. So for example, this Talon 22 weighs in at 36 ounces, whereas this 25-liter tactical backpack with thicker nylon comes in at just under 29 ounces. However, the Talon 22, especially the new one that comes in at 32 ounces, is a very feature-rich pack. It's got most of the features of a full-size backpack, whereas the tactical pack here is actually fairly streamlined for being what it is. Now compare all of that to the 28-liter Waymark Mile. Bigger pack than any of them volume-wise, and yet it comes in at 16 ounces. So it is less than half that of the Talon 22, and it is nearly half that of this 25-liter tactical backpack. Typically though, a traditional backpack is going to come in under the weight of a fully featured tactical backpack, and it will typically weigh quite a bit more than a pack that is designed for the ultralight community. One feature you will find on many full-size traditional packs is a lid or a brain, and that is basically an additional pack that sits on top of the main bag. A lid is good for keeping smaller items, or maybe a jacket and some of the larger ones that you want to be able to get to quickly without having to get into the main compartment of the backpack. And the reason why is that many traditional packs have a drawstring enclosure that gets you into the main compartment. And because a drawstring leaves a hole at the top, you don't really want to be walking around like that, because if it rains or something falls on the pack, it could get inside and onto your gear. So the lid or the brain typically flops over on top and then is secured with straps. A traditional pack is typically focused on ease of use. It's going to have big compartments, small pockets, medium-sized pockets. It's going to have zippered enclosures on a lot of them. It's going to have stuff pockets. And the idea is to keep your gear very organized while still carrying the typical kinds of things that you would on a backpacking trip. Further, many traditional packs have an adjustable torso length. And what that means is that the shoulder straps can raise and lower according to how much torso length you need, and that makes the pack fit a lot better. And it also places the hip belt, which most of these traditional packs have, right exactly where it's supposed to go in relation to your shoulders. Because one thing that a traditional pack is definitely made to do is carry a lot of weight fairly comfortably. And the idea here is that when you have this loaded up with a whole bunch of typical backpacking gear, it's going to be kind of bulky, it's going to be heavy, and you're going to need a pack that can comfortably carry all of that so that you can hike longer. And what that means is more padding in the shoulder straps, padding in the back, a hip belt, padding in the hip belt, and a whole bunch of pockets, which mean more material and zippers and things that add weight to the pack. So basically, with a typical traditional pack, you are trading some durability and some lightweightness for comfort and organization. Now, on a tactical backpack, you are typically trading nothing in terms of durability, because that is what these are all about. The purpose of a tactical backpack is not to get you 20 or 30 miles down the trail every day on a backpacking trip, but to typically carry some pretty hardcore gear in a survival situation where you're not necessarily trying to kill miles, but you are trying to get to safety, and you have a lot of gear you need to do that with, and you're probably in a situation where you need it to be pretty tough. So for example, this pack is made with 600 denier nylon, whereas the Talon is a mix of 100 and 200 denier nylon. So the material in this backpack is anywhere from 3 to 6 times as thick as that of the hiking backpack. I've got a full-size tactical backpack that's made of 1,000 denier nylon. So that's going to be one of the first differences that you notice. Another one is typically the look. Tactical backpacks do not usually come in a wide variety of colors. Most of them are black, many of them feature more of a desert look, and some of them come in sort of the old army green. And since tactical backpacks are often thought of in the context of the military, this makes sense. Another thing you will notice on most, if not all, tactical packs is a webbing system. Usually this webbing follows the standard known as PALS, a Pouch Attachment Ladder System. So what the PALS webbing does is it allows you to take other gear that also uses that kind of attachment system and attach them. And this modularity can come in very handy because, for example, let's say you keep all of your everyday carry items in a pouch like this, and this is something like a get-home bag that you keep in your car in case of an emergency. If you have this with you, but you also need what's in here, you can simply attach this pouch to this pack, and now it is a single item of carry. Once you have more than one piece of gear with the PALS webbing, it becomes known as a MOLLE system. MOLLE stands for Modular Lightweight Load Carrying Equipment. And the more MOLLE gear you have in your system, the more modularity you have and the more choices you have about what to carry and how. This type of gear is usually handed out to military personnel who are young and strong, so the focus is not really on making them comfortable, because if you're going somewhere with a tactical pack, there's a good chance you are not doing it for fun. And in a survival situation, trading comfort for durability is not necessarily a bad idea, and although you are going to have a weight penalty for that in most cases, as you've seen, number one, you don't always, and number two, an extra pound or two on your backpack is not going to make a big difference if you are in a survival situation and you've already got a ton of heavy gear that you're carrying around. What you want is something that's going to be able to carry it without giving you any problems. It can be completely dependable, extra thick nylon, big giant zippers, numerous pockets and other features of organization. All of these things come together in a tactical pack that can help you out in a survival type situation. All right, now let's talk about an ultralight. Whoa! An ultralight pack. If you've never had the experience of picking up an ultralight backpack, it is pretty amazing. This Waymark Mile, which is the biggest of all of these packs that I'm looking at today, came in the mail to me in a padded envelope, flat, and honestly, when I picked it up, I wasn't sure they had remembered to put the backpack in it. This entire backpack weighs 1 pound. Just to give you an idea of what 1 pound feels like, that is like a medium coffee from Starbucks without the mug. Now, how do you achieve such a low weight on a backpack? Well, number one, you use very lightweight materials. This particular pack is made of X-Pack, but I also have some Dyneema bags from my Hilltop Packs collection, and these high-tech materials, while still strong, are extremely lightweight. And when you are going ultralight, every ounce counts. The typical ultralight backpacker is looking for a base weight under 10 pounds. Base weight refers to all of your gear minus consumables like fuel, water, and food. To get that kind of base weight, you've got to have a backpack that's not made of thick, heavy nylon. Another thing you will see is that the ultralight packs are typically fairly featureless compared to a tactical backpack for sure, and even most traditional backpacks. With many ultralight packs, you're basically just getting a big sack with some straps on it. On the outside, you will typically have a big front stuff pocket and an open pocket on either side. That may be all you get organization-wise from an ultralight pack. The strap system is usually also going to be very different than what you would typically see on a traditional pack. The straps don't usually have the kind of cushion, and the hip belt may just be a piece of webbing. And the reason for this is that if you have an ultralight gear loadout and you've got a base weight under 10 pounds, you don't really need all of that cushion, and you don't need a big hip belt because your skeleton is not holding up 30 or 40 pounds worth of weight. When you can get your gear base weight down that low, you can reward yourself by having a pack that corresponds to that gear. Now, in another video I talk about when it's time to do this. You want to be careful not to start off with an ultralight backpack, because if you have traditional gear, it's probably going to be heavy enough that it's going to require a traditional pack to carry it. When your gear loadout enters the ultralight range, that's when it's time to try out an ultralight pack. Another thing you will notice on most ultralight packs is that they do not come with a lid or a brain. And that is why many of them have a roll top enclosure, kind of like a dry bag, that allows you to get inside the main compartment. And this way you have protection for the contents of the bag without the added weight of a lid or a brain weighing you down. Now, there are more pack features that differentiate some of these different backpacks, but what I've gone over today are the general features that characterize each backpack as being the kind of backpack that it is. Obviously, the main thing you need to figure out when you're deciding between these packs is what their purpose is. If you're looking for a very tough survivalist type bag that you can just toss in a car and kind of forget about, or leave in your house as a go bag in an emergency, that is what a tactical backpack is for. If you're just looking to get outdoors with fairly traditional backpacking equipment, then a fairly traditional backpack is probably going to be what you want. If you're looking to crush miles and part of your strategy is to have as little weight on your back as possible, an ultralight pack may be the way to go, as long as you have the right kind of gear to go in it. Also, I want to say a bit about price. Because of the materials that are being used, ultralight packs are typically going to cost more per feature than a traditional pack. And a tactical backpack is typically actually going to cost less because it is not trying to keep the weight down with really advanced technological materials, or with trying to keep things ultralight by making little sacrifices here and there, but still trying to keep the durability and the features. However, that is a generality. My Waymark Mile, which is bigger and nearly as featured as my Talon 22, costs basically the same. Alright, this has been a quick overview, but I hope it helped. If it has, would you mind giving the video a like? And if you have not subscribed to Backcountry Pilgrim, click that subscribe button and click the bell too if you would like to be notified when new videos come out. Thank you for watching, and take it easy.